Welcome, everyone. Here, this is Joel and Randy's Texas Tea. Everybody say hello.
Hello, I'm Randy, and
I'm Christopher.
Yes, our third new host. Hello to you, Christopher. How you doing?
Hello.
Mm-hmm.
Hello
Christopher
to you.
has proved to be a fabulous new host.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not blowing smoke up his ass because I'm not that kind of girl.
Mm-mm. I haven't blown smoke up anybody's ass. And
what does that feel like?
Hello.
I had a friend one time who said that he went out with this dude and he blew air in his asshole just so he could fart in his face.
Wait.
What?
Yes!
No. What?
I'm not kidding. And you know what? That's disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
Mm-mm.
I don't think you can absorb, because you absorb alcohol faster through your butt. I wonder if that's the same for like smoke.
I think so.
I would think so. Why do you want somebody to smoke in your
I think somebody talked about that with marijuana.
What?
Smoking weed and blowing it right up in there.
I knew a guy that said that he went on vacation with this man that he thought he knew until he went in the bathroom and there was blood everywhere and he was on the floor naked and with a broomstick up his ass because he had taken cocaine and put it all over a broomstick and shoved it up there.
Oh, no, ma'am. Oh, no. I know, right? I know.
With a broomstick.
With a broomstick.
It didn't need to be a broomstick. It could have just been a finger or something.
No, bitch. You think about a person.
He could have used the Coke spoon, but I'm going to tell you right now, if you're going to use one of my spoons, you throw it in the trash.
Ain't nobody going to tell you to throw it in your Coke spoon. You don't have a Coke spoon. What are we even talking about?
I really don't even know what a Coke spoon is. I've never seen one.
I'm not that girl.
I've seen a crack spoon.
I'm not a
Well, yeah, what is it called?
A crack spoon is from your kitchen.
Yeah, a crack spoon is from the kitchen. And I've seen a crack spoon.
Everybody's seen a crack spoon. I just ate from a crack spoon the other day.
During my
goddamn cereal.
During my early 20s, I got my first job with a man named Robert Tim who owned a furniture store. But the furniture store was just the front. He was a big time drug dealer. And the furniture store, so I ran the furniture store and he did all the drug stuff off to the side. And one time I was in the furniture store by myself and the Colombians came in. And the Colombians.
Right,
these were some
badass. I like this story.
Yes, these were some badass motherfuckers. And there's no shut your mouth to it. They were badass motherfuckers. They came walking into it turned out that he owed them $10,000. And he ran out of the store and left me in the store by myself and did not tell me anything about this. So I'm sitting in the store getting ready to close the store, and I got the key in the lock, and they come walking up, and they push the door open, and they said, "Is Robert Tim here?" I'm like, "No, we are closed. Robert Tim left like 20 minutes ago." Okay, so they come into the store with their wives, and their wives are dressed to the nines. They got diamonds on.
Why are they involved with their wives?
They got diamonds on. They wear.
You know you were okay.
Yeah, that's right, exactly.
They're not gonna do
I
shit.
feel like
They ain't gonna say hello to my little friend and shit.
Yeah, exactly.
With their wives there.
So they are. So one of them comes and sits in the office with me while the wives are walking around the store picking out furniture. Oh, this was here in Houston, and this was on the north side. And you don't need to know, girl. You do not need to know.
North, that way.
I know what north means, but I don't know why. So distinctions between sides.
So here I am sitting in the office, and he is, first of all, beautiful. It just this brown cocoa skin, that Spanish accent. Long black hair. I'm like, oh.
Did he have a beard?
No, he had a big dick. That's all. I knew that because them slacks were so tight, girl. And he was sitting there with his legs wide open, talking to me, and all I could do was look down and look up and look down and look up.
This is a scene in a movie.
Yes, because first of all, I realized that it was
called Scarface.
Yeah, Scarface.
I realized for the first time that I might not make it out of this store alive, so I'm gonna have to talk myself out. I want to live.
If the women
I want to live.
If the women are there, you're good. because they would never shoot anybody.
But the women were
on the back.
But the women were in the store looking around, picking out furniture. They were shopping, and the other two guys were standing outside and like they were guarding the door. And I'm sitting here with this man. I am terrified. I don't know what's going on. Robert Tim has left me in a situation. I was so mad, but I'm like, I'm gonna die. So if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die looking at this man's dick. So we were talking, and he goes, "Well, where's Robert Tim?"
That's the way to go, I suppose.
Where's Robert Tim? Well, he said he had something to do, so he left. He didn't tell you anything? No, he told me nothing. He didn't tell me anything. He goes, I'm gonna be honest. I like you. You seem like a really nice guy, but you shouldn't be hooking up with Robert Tim. And our wives are going to pick up what we want from the furniture store.
Oh, shit.
And we're going to leave.
Oh, fuck.
And you are not going to do anything about it. And I said, I wasn't going to do it.
I love those bitches for shopping.
I'm like, I wasn't going to do anything about it.
See, I'm a household accessories girl. I wouldn't be trying to pick up any furniture because that's just too much. But household accessories, girl, the odd lamb.
Well, I can tell you
the odd OJ.
So what did they get? What did they pick up?
Oh, they got new bedroom furniture, new living room furniture. They had just bought condos in downtown.
Had a truck roll up and shit.
No, they had a truck come by. They sure did.
Shit.
They sure did. They picked out everything they wanted, loaded it up on the truck, took half the furniture store, and left. Didn't pay me one dime.
Damn.
And Robert Tim comes back 2 hours later and says, "Where's all my furniture?" I said, "Well, the Colombians took it." "Well, why did you let the Colombians take it?" "Because the Colombians told me that you owed them $10,000, and the fact that you left me in this store by myself with a bunch of Colombians,
girl,
where I could have ended up."
By the way, we about to get in trouble behind some Colombians.
Oh, this was the 80s.
Shout out to Colombians. We love Colombians, girl.
Sweetie, this was the
we don't mean no harm.
Sweetie, this was the 80s.
Like I said,
Colombians aren't like they Colombians aren't like they used to be.
Wait, where does it get?
They are not like they used to be. I can't.
Like they used to
No, they are not in the drug business anymore.
There you go.
So that's what I'm saying. They are not in the drug business.
All I'm saying is much love to the Colombian community.
Mr. Narcos
on drugs.
Mr. Narcos is now going to be sitting in the prison cell for the rest of
the show. They ain't going to come after me.
So.
My name's not on the show.
Molotov cocktail to you. You better be careful.
You wouldn't be like coming to get this table.
You have said that 6 shows ago, girl. Ain't no.
Because you have been pushing the envelope for 6 shows. But you are always trying to get a Molotov cocktail. One of these days, God forbid, you won't get one. And I bet it's going to be the lesbians that do it.
Oh, girl.
No, we love lesbians.
We love lesbians. I'm joking with them.
But it would be a Molotov cocktail if it was a lesbian.
Sure. I love lesbians, but
it would be a Molotov beer if it was a lesbian.
Ooh, yes. It would be a muff, girl. A Molotov muff. Coming through your window.
No, it would be a Molotov Bud Light or Budweiser.
A Coors Light bottle, girl. A Coors Light bottle.
We need lesbian
Listen, we love lesbians. We don't need no harm. We need a lesbian to come on this show and testify.
Testify.
We sure do. So we gonna get down into it.
We are gonna get down.
It has been a lovely chat to start the show off. Let's start with some Houston stuff.
Well,
because let's tell the world we are from Houston, Texas. This show is always from
Texas. We are Houston based, and I want to tell you something. Houston is the 12th largest city in the world.
Wait, what?
Yes, Queen.
What?
Anyway, listen. Here's what had happened in Houston. A lot of shit goes down, but this is the first for me, and I had no idea that this kind of stuff was going on, but I'm repelled by it beyond belief. Because the only victims in this scenario are folks, if you will, who can't take care of themselves.
Folks.
And folks.
Okay,
we don't call them folks.
I'm curious.
It's called a teaser, bitch.
It's titillated. I'm titillated. Yes.
You should be. It's a teaser. Girl, we talking about some bestiality.
Wait, what?
Oh, yes.
There was a man arrested for offering up, Juan Pablo Shin. I don't know how you come from Juan Pablo to Shin, but whatever. Girl, Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
listen, that's some genealogy shit for 23.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
And me.
he was arrested because he was trying to pimp out his dogs.
Pimp out his dog.
Yes, he was online.
his
Apparently,
dogs
there's
look
an
like
online community, online
Really?
forum for people who are into having sex with animals.
Oh.
Bestiality, girl.
Mm. Mostly dogs, it sounds like.
Sounds like it.
Mm-hmm.
Are
Well,
they
anyway,
cats?
honey, he tried to pimp out.
Oh, no cat's going to ever get it. Cats are smart enough never
Girl,
to get
a cat.
involved.
Well, a cat is that right? Your dick off.
I have a cat. I need some money.
Listen, he was.
Your
trying to
cat
pimp
is going to
out-
let you have it right there. Bitch, no.
He was trying to pimp out a German Shepherd
Mhm.
girl. She was
Mm-hmm.
gray and brown German Shepherd. Her name is Trixie. She was 4 years old.
Trixie sounds
Oh.
hot.
And he was trying to pimp her out, and he was trying to pimp out an Australian Shepherd mix
Mm-hmm.
named Fernando,
So how was he trying to pimp her Oh, what?
a Brennel colored Shepherd that's black and light, a dark tan.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to pimp out this Brennel, and girl, this Jack Russell Terrier for the cherry on top.
Mm-hmm.
And this thing's name was Harvey. So it's Trixie, Fernando, and Harvey, girl.
Mm-hmm.
And they listen. They took equal opportunity, as the law is. They took Fernando, Trixie, and Harvey downtown for solicitation.
Wait.
What?
Yes, Queen. So apparently there's an underground.
I think I know where to start with
people
this.
smearing peanut butter on their privates or cheese whiz or what have you, sticking bologna in their pussy or whatever, and dogs are grabbing it and licking it. And how
Is
are
that
you gonna do that to a dog?
You know-
Yes,
you know the-
bestiality. How are you going to do? And who's coming up behind Fernando and trying to stick their dick in? What is wrong with people?
Okay, I want to say this because I heard this story the day before Randy told. I work in Bel Air, so I heard this story while I was at work in Bel Air, and they said that it happened right down the road from
Wait.
where I work.
What?
Yes.
So
I
this
live in Bel Air.
is so this is rich
Girl,
people.
guess what?
This is rich people
I don't
who
live
are
near the rich
super
people.
bored, obviously, and now they're pimping out their animals for sex. They have an underground animal
Girl,
sex
there's a whole
ring.
underground
Oh my
sex
god!
ring
In Bel Air,
I
in
think
Bel
we
Air,
gotta do
West
some
U.
investigative journalism.
This is an ongoing investigation, and there's an online forum for it. I don't know where you find that shit.
You have to go into the dark web for that,
The
girl.
dark web.
The dark web.
Mm.
Has anybody here ever been into the dark web?
Why would I go to the dark web?
I don't know. I've
don't
always
even like
been
dark
curious.
Chicken girl. I'm not trying to go to the dark web.
I am always.
There is nothing for me in the dark web.
Chris, have you ever been curious about the dark web?
Maybe?
I'm just, you know what I'm afraid of? I'm afraid of that the moment that I go into the dark web, the first thing that's going to pop up is kitty porn
Shut up.
or any kinds of weird
Or how about bestiality?
or
popping up?
bestiality or anything.
Because guess what?
And I don't.
push a button. You know what I'm saying? A key,
Mhm.
and then allow that shit into your computer, and
Yeah.
then what's going to
Well,
happen?
that's
Or I might accidentally join ISIS or something like that, girl. I don't. No.
No, but you don't want to deal with this
I don't wanna-
bestiality shit.
Look, I don't want
They have
anybody.
parties.
Mhm.
There are bestiality. These dogs were about to be pimped out to go to a party.
Oh Lord.
A party.
Okay.
What kind of hell? Listen. What the
So
hell
wait,
kind
they're
of
just
party is
licking
that?
peanut butter off people's genitals?
Or getting fucked.
Oh, well, that's
I'm
not a
Fernando.
story.
I don't understand.
Fernando.
No, I mean, yeah.
How
that's
do
not
you
good.
set an animal up to like do that?
Listen, I don't know nothing about this shit. I'm just reporting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't make the news. I just report it.
Mhm.
I'm not trying to be
No, it's
fucking
just-
a dog. Or let the dog
I'm just
fuck me.
curious. I mean, I've heard of videos where horses and donkeys are involved,
And you know they
and
say,
that's I saw one for like 30 seconds and I threw up.
yeah,
I literally threw up.
30
never
fucking
watched
seconds
30
to take you that long?
No, because
I'm
one,
not judging.
I never.
my friend shows me this video, and it starts off with a woman just naked walking around the donkey. I don't know what's
Wait, I
going
think I've
on.
heard of that. Was that a popular video?
No, I have no idea. I just found it, and
he just found it.
That's what he said.
He was looking for it?
I guess so. But he shows me this video.
Yeah. I don't mean no harm, but...
And this, by the way, this was a straight man, by the way. So he shows me this video, and the woman, in the first 15 seconds, the woman's just walking around the donkey. She's just doing her thing. She's naked. I don't think anything about it. Then she lays down, and I'm like, what's going on? And then the donkey starts stinking, and then I just puked right there. I puked. I literally puked. I puked.
Wait, you really puked?
I really puked.
Really? That's all it
because
takes?
it was the...
You're kind of a lightweight, I think.
No, I'm not. No, actually, I'm not a lightweight.
Very soft stomach when it comes to shit like that. No.
Wait, did you ever see your girls in a cup?
What queen was it?
Yes, I did, and I didn't...
There was a queen once that she died because she got fucked by a horse and contracted some sort of disease. I think it was syphilis. Anyway,
from the horse.
She got fucked by a horse.
So the horse wasn't wearing a condom.
The horse.
Is that the lesson here?
No,
the horse was not
don't
wearing.
get fucked by a horse. And guess what? Should I have to tell you don't get fucked by a horse? Anybody?
Let me
I
tell
don't
you.
understand how it's possible for somebody to get fucked by a horse. Do you know how big their penises are?
Listen,
They're gigantic.
I don't look at horses' dicks. I don't care. All I know is
have you been around?
She created. What's her name? Come on, everybody out there who's listening, send us her name because I can't remember it. Queen. She was a big time queen. Anyway, the point is, please, y'all, don't have sex with animals. That's disgusting. Don't be raping dogs. You can't rape a cat, bitch.
I mean, don't hurt animals.
A cat will cut you. You will get cut.
Duly noted.
I want a bestiality club to do cats. Try and do a cat and see what happens.
I don't know why you would want
to. Cats get your ass fucked up. Get your eyes scratched out.
And get a rash at the same time. And maybe even get feline AIDS. No, thank you. No, thank you. Cats are not worth it. They're not worth it. They're not worth your time. So if you're into bestiality, cats are not worth your time, sweetie.
No, well...
They're not. They're not.
Listen, y'all, and I'm talking to y'all, because we always talk to ourselves. We want y'all to listen to what goes on in our world. And in our world is a little crazy right now. We got bestiality. We got folks walking out on the street. People
walking on the street?
No, people are walking off on the street, on the sidewalk, on Esplanade.
Yes, taking pictures.
Worrying people who are taking pictures on said Esplanade in a very exclusive community. Apparently not terribly exclusive because they got a goddamn sidewalk, which is public. And it's in an area that I've never heard of personally, because I'm not that rich.
Wait, what is it called?
It's near the Museum District here in Houston, and it's called Broad Acres. Never heard of it. But apparently it's gorgeous. And
Broad Acres. That sounds like a lesbian. That sounds like a lesbian part.
Is that the spin-off?
No, it sounds like some kind of supplemental housing to me.
It kind of does.
I don't mean no harm. It sounds like some Section 8 shit. Hey, it's not Section 8.
No offense.
From the 1% side.
No offense to anyone who is on Section 8, by the way. You got to live somewhere, girl. You got to live somewhere. You got to live
Section
somewhere.
8, you're my people in the goddamn way. So anyway, and that was a GOT, by the way. I don't say GOT. So anyway, Miss Thing is tired of it. This is my scenario. And I call her Fancy Francie. And her name is Francie.
Oh, Neely. We actually have one in Houston.
And
nobody wanted one in Houston.
Right? She's an ex-wife, and she's the ex-wife of the owner of the Astros.
Oh, wow.
Oh, so she didn't.
You know he is reeling from the embarrassment. Then again, his friends are saying, you got away from that crazy bitch.
Wait, so what happened?
What had happened is...
Tell it, Randy. Tell it. Tell it like it is, Randy.
It is that this particular Esplanade is very popular with photographers. You know, I read the whole story, and
very popular.
Photographers come up, and there are models, literally models that pose for magazines and stuff like that. And they use this brick it's a brick sidewalk. It's not a normal sidewalk. The trees are gorgeous because they're high and they're oaks and they cascade.
Oh.
And they
I'm gonna
sort of
go there.
interlace together like a cave. It's beautiful. So anyway, apparently, now this is my version of the story. This is allegedly.
Why don't you tell the first version?
Well, the first version is Miss Thing walked
Your
out.
version of the story.
Miss Thing walked out, and she had enough. She walked out, and she said, "Get out of here! Get out of here! You don't have any business here." A couple and their first. This is the first birthday for their daughter.
Yes, they're having a photo shoot.
Yeah,
Birthday
their
photo
first
shoot.
birthday for their daughter. Now, listen, I have to say something about this because they were way too comfortable. They laid out a carpet across the sidewalk, an occasional table. They had a photographer, and that's
It's a little
photo shoot.
Yeah, that's a photo shoot. Yeah.
It's not just like a quick.
Yeah, they were there for over 30 minutes before Miss Thing came out. They were there.
And this is like right outside her house.
No, it's in the middle of all the homes on the Esplanade, which is city property.
You know all these words? I don't know. Is that like the middle divide?
Yes, the middle divide.
But it has the trees,
it's
grass,
grassy,
and trees,
and
there's a brick sidewalk down the middle.
Brick sidewalk, pretty brick sidewalk. So everybody goes there to take photos. And everybody who knows about it, because like I said, I've never heard about this shit.
There are a lot of pretty neighborhoods in the Montrose Museum District to take fantastic photos if you wanted to do that. So I understood why that they were taking just a little girl taking pictures. His first birthday. She was so cute.
Oh, she was cute.
And then here comes
Daddy was cute too.
And then what's her name again? Here comes Fancy who?
Fancy Francie.
Fancy Francie comes running out of her house.
And she's like, and now, you've been here long enough. And now, see, this is where I'm...
Yeah, go ahead, girl.
You've
Tell the
been here
story.
long enough, and it's time to go. Yeah. And the woman was trying... Listen, she is actually a Jamaican American. And, y'all know how I feel about that. She is a Jamaican American. And how I feel is... Anyway, that's beside the point. So, she's like,
Wait,
don't be
racist.
racist.
Who's Jamaican American?
The woman whose photos are being taken. And she's like, no, we're not going anywhere. This is a public street, sidewalk. We can do what we want to. And girl Francie had enough. She's like, you need to go. And then she hit her husband's hand, and he had the camera. He was filming her the whole time. There was a professional photographer there. You don't hit anybody.
That's an assault.
No, that's an assault.
That's assault.
So she'll be lucky if she's not in court. Because you don't do that. You don't touch people.
Right.
Period.
It's one thing if it had been like on her front lawn or something like that.
And they weren't even taking, let's get it straight. Her house was not being photographed.
Yeah, exactly.
They were doing the straight street, the straight sidewalk, because that's where the trees are in,
they're overlapping,
and it's just beautiful.
It's just a beautiful picture.
Yeah.
Yes.
But Francie was like, and she brought Miss Pomeranian with her to testify. Pomeranian was testifying. Brr, 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 brr. See, I'm speaking for Miss Pomeranian. Anyway.
The funny part of that story is the fact that we had talked about this a little bit earlier, and I believe Randy when he says this woman probably had 3 or 4 glasses of Chardonnay.
No, that's my story.
Yeah, that's your story. Yeah, it's Randy's story. She probably had 3 or 4 glasses. She was probably peeking out the window, had her first glass.
Oh yeah, there for over 30 minutes.
Right.
And she was like, okay, they're outside taking pictures. She's drinking her Chardonnay.
Glass.
And then she looks out the window again, and she's like, oh wait, they still taking pictures?
Right.
And then the third glass, she went, oh no, no.
See, on the third glass, she was like, oh bitch, I'm ready to clown.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm ready to clown. These motherfuckers, I'm tired of them. Because all these, listen, that's a very popular place to take pictures.
Yeah, like
and she's done. And so, Francie, I feel you on that a little bit, but you don't get out and clown like that and then not expect to be filmed, because everybody's been filmed doing everything.
Right.
Now she's gone viral. She was on Inside Edition last night.
The story is better.
She's
a big philanthropist. philanthropist.
She's a very
philanthropist.
Very big philanthropist.
She supports the arts in Houston.
Yes, Queen. And you know what? Other than that, other than yesterday or the day before yesterday, she had respect.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Right.
I doubt that she's going to be invited to the next dinner party at Lynn Wyatt's house.
Can I say something about?
Shout out to Lynn Wyatt, girl. You did the right thing divorcing that motherfucker. Anyway.
Can I say something about that? Because I had time to think about it. The more that you told the story, and the more that I had time to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Here's some things that she did right. First of all, she did not call the police like all the other with Barbecue Betty and all these other people.
Mm-hmm.
She did not call the police. So she was not on the phone calling the police on black people, so to speak.
Right.
She actually went out. Look, she had a few glasses of wine. She probably didn't know what she was doing. Poor thing.
This is us. This is
our interpretation of it. She was, and there was another interview with another lady who said that people love to take pictures.
Yes.
And what we're tired of is that photographers will come in
and leave trash.
They'll trash the neighborhood, and then we have to pick all our trash up or anything else. And if they would just respect that, we wouldn't get upset.
If they came and took pictures and left
and cleaned up their mess and all that other stuff, that would be one thing.
Remember, I had said there was an actual photographer there, and the photographer said, "Leave us alone. We're doing fine. We're not hurting anybody." And she said, "Wait a minute, girl, Miss Fancy Francie had enough." Like I said, in my mind, allegedly, in my mind, she had one drink too many, and I'm going to go a step further. I'm going to go a step further. She tried to send the maid down to do her thing.
I can believe that.
Send the maid down
that I can believe.
Girl, get out there and tell those motherfuckers to get the fuck out of here. And the maid said, "Bitch, that's not my job. That's not my pay grade. You need to go down there and read them. If you want to read them, go down there and read them." And she took this Pomeranian just because she needed a little security blanket, because a Pomeranian ain't going to bite nobody. Pomeranians don't do that. Chihuahuas will do it. Shit. But a Pomeranian doesn't do that. So, shout out to Francie. Bless your heart, girl. I know you hold up in your house.
She'll be fine.
She'll be fine.
She's worth $30 million.
Hey, just give it. Maybe she can give us. Hey, she contributes to arts. We're an arts group.
We are coming over.
We need $1 million.
We're coming over.
Maybe $5 million.
We're going to go and take pictures. We're going to take some pictures.
For Instagram next week.
And we need $5 million.
We're scheduling.
Yes, we do need $5 million.
And listen, Francie, girl,
don't come outside.
I will have Chardonnay with you.
Yeah, we will have a bottle of Chardonnay.
Hey, yes.
We'll have a bottle of Chardonnay with some glasses.
Actually, oh my God.
And stand in front.
You heard it first on this show, y'all. We about to interview Francie for real. We're about to bring some Chardonnay.
We're going to bring some Chardonnay, and we're going to
chill.
And
knock
we'll
on
tell them we're Team Francie.
We're going to hit that gate, and we are Team Francie.
$1 million.
Because and listen, there's another part of this that's dark and disturbing. Y'all don't call Francie a racist.
Please don't call her that.
She's not a racist. I don't care what color you are.
She didn't call the police.
If you are in that Esplanade or on that sidewalk, you have annoyed her in the past.
Yeah.
And it's not about color.
Yeah.
It's about somebody being fed up. So please don't call Francie.
And I have to say that
I'm begging you.
As the black person at this table, I watched the whole thing. And no, she wasn't being racist. She was just fed up with everybody taking pictures, and you just happened to be the black person who happened to be there. And she probably went, "Oh God, damn it!"
She did say to the photographer, "It's your fault. You brought these people." Now she wasn't talking about those people.
Yeah, exactly.
She didn't do with those people. She said these people. That is a these people. That means these people are innocent victims of what you did.
Yeah, exactly.
It was the photographer's idea to go there. Don't get it twisted. So if you want to blame anybody, blame the photographer for being there at that time. But the truth is, Francie, we love you, girl. We got you. But it is a public sidewalk.
Okay. Well,
so anybody can walk it. And we're going to walk it next week. And we're going to take some photos for Instagram.
Well, we went a little long on that because I was going to bring up a couple of other Houston things to talk about. But it's fine. We're going to take a little bit of a break because the next half of the show is Black History Month. It's going to be fun. It's going to be me, the black guy, and two white guys talking about Black History Month, just like every class I took in all the way up to high school.
I can be black too.
So this is going to be fun.
In my heart.
But I'm going to include a couple of things from the Houston perspective, especially one thing from the Houston perspective.
Yes,
so
indeed.
we're going to take a little bit of a break, and we're going to be right back. Oh, we are back. We are back. We are about ready to start the next half of the show, which is dedicated to Black History Month. Now, as the black guy sitting with two white guys, this is going to be a real fun part of this show. Because, first of all, I got to know these guys before we thought of the idea of doing Black History Month.
It was my idea, bitch.
Yes, okay, I'm sorry. It was Chris's. It was Chris's idea
Name it and claim it, bitch.
to do the Black History Month thing. But here's the thing. Here's what I learned about the two white guys that are sitting across from me. They never had Black History Month in their high school.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
They never had Black History Month in their high school.
remember.
What in the hell does that mean that you remember?
Mm-hmm. Because every history class...
I don't know what that means.
I don't remember anything in high school.
I'm sure.
Here's... I have always been the only black kid in most of my classes from elementary school, except for that little short stint when my parents moved to Houston and we were in an all-black neighborhood, but that was a short stint. And I'd always been the only black kid in every class. So when Black History Month came around, all the white kids would turn around and look and go, okay, so we got to learn about Crispus Attucks and Harriet Tubman and George Washington Carver, and of course Martin Luther King. Now those were the four basics. And if you're out there listening and you have Black History Month, those are the four basic people you heard. Those are literally the four basic people you would hear the entire month. God knows we've been to the moon. God knows we are scientists, doctors, lawyers, politicians, all this other stuff. But you always hear about the same four people for Black History Month every time we were growing up.
Ain't nobody black been to the moon.
You know what I mean, girl. You know what I mean. In space.
Saying, girl.
Okay, black people in space. We have been in space several times. Several times. Several times.
Don't get it twisted.
Mm-hmm. One man and two ladies. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Lost in space.
So Black History Month has always been a part of my life, and I was, like I said, I was surprised that the two white people across the table from me did not celebrate it. Randy could tell his story.
Girl, we gonna tell a story.
So Randy is going to tell a story of growing up in Crosby. Was it Crosby?
No, let me tell my story, man.
Down here, Randy. Down here.
Okay, first of all, I didn't know nothing about Harriet Tubman until I saw the movie Roots. Second, in my small town that I grew up in, which I shall not name because I don't want nobody going over there trying to whoop somebody's ass, but the truth is, we only had 4 black families in my town. And they all lived in one place. Because back in the old days, the bad old days, you weren't allowed to buy a house in that area, in that town, unless you lived in that area. Period.
Which, by the way, let me.
That was the 70s, by the way.
Thank you.
And in the 70s, they would actually price you out. If you were Hispanic, if you were black, Cuban, whatever. If you weren't white, you weren't living in the right place. The right place being, so to speak, the neighborhoods. You weren't allowed. There were 2 white neighborhoods in that town, and bitch, they were white neighborhoods. You had to be really wealthy as a Hispanic or an African American, which I don't like to say that. Anyway, you had to be very wealthy. So we didn't study black history in school because black people were lucky that they weren't history in our school. Because, but there were, I'm not saying there were lynchings or anything like that, because there weren't, of course, because that would be illegal.
It would.
Mm-hmm. It would be illegal.
What?
But you keep turning side eye going, did this happen or not?
No, it didn't happen.
Is there only 2 black families living there?
But I will tell you something that did happen.
Mm-hmm.
A family moved in, and they were French. What people call French. Back then, they called French. And they were actually Creole, and they were from Louisiana.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
But black people didn't like them because they were too light. And they were admonished, so to speak. I guess that's what you would say.
Yeah.
By black people. They weren't appreciated or liked, and they lived in that area because that's the only area they could live in because they weren't white.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were hated by the black community, and they were, in effect, black. That's not
well,
cool.
that's not cool, and that's not an appropriate topic to have on this show. We have to. That's something that's an issue that black people have to work out. But yeah, it's not appropriate for this show.
No, I'm not trying to bring up.
No. I'm just saying that for us to try to have that conversation on colorism, it's too big to have.
We're going to do it.
Too big.
It's too bad.
We'll do it, and in fact, soon I think we should have either side of the subject come in, but that's for a later date. But I agree with you. It is a huge topic.
It's too huge.
Huge.
But Chris, why don't you tell us about your growing up?
Well, okay, well, I grew up in Round Rock, Texas, which is right outside Austin. The schools are really good. I don't recall ever celebrating Black History Month. We learned about the civil rights. It was mixed in with our history, so I don't remember it ever being made a big deal. I don't know what to say. I didn't actually know about Black history until, honestly, a few years ago. So I don't know what that means.
Well,
but there it is.
Were there black kids in your school when you were going to school?
There were different ethnicities. I'm trying to think if we had any black kids in my classes. I'm sure we did, but none that I can think of at the moment. We had Indians. We had, I don't know.
You know, I don't want to. This is getting a little. Here's what it is.
Okay.
Here's what it is.
People from India.
So let me recount my experience. The fact of the matter, I have always grown up in white neighborhoods, and I've always been used to being the only black kid. Sometimes I was the only black kid. I grew up in Dallas, Texas, where we lived in a white neighborhood, and I was the only black kid. I grew up in Kansas City, where the neighborhood was a little bit more mixed, but it was like maybe 5 black families, and the rest were white. In Washington, D.C., it was the same way with the white schools. I would either be like the 3rd or 4th black kid, depending on the neighborhood that you lived in. So I was always the odd man out. And by the way, not every school I went to or every middle school I went to did Black History Month. So there were times where February would pass and we did Valentine's Day, and that was it. So actually, Black History Month for me was when I came to Houston, and we moved in with my stepmother's father's house because we were trying to find a house at the time, and I had to go to a black middle school, and it was the first time that I'd gone to an all-black middle school. And you're looking at a black kid who is so used to being around white kids.
Right.
That the black kids would go, oh, here comes little Mr. White Boy walking because of the way I spoke, also because of the fact that I was always I read on a college level, and I was a little smarter, and this and that.
There's no Joel.
Yeah, but no. But that was, first of all, before you start that conversation,
I wasn't going to say.
I'm gonna tell you like this. I was perfectly fine with it. It was fine with me, and I never had a problem with it. It had never been a problem. In fact, it's because of those moments that I'm able to talk to people from different cultures and everything else and not feel uncomfortable in any situation. I'm never uncomfortable in any situation because of the upbringing that I had.
Right.
I always lament the fact that when I see schools try to mix kids together and kids go to sit with only the black kids or only the white kids or only the Hispanic kids or only the Asian kids, that makes me feel sad because I'd always been able to hang out with everyone. I was raised to be able to talk to everyone.
Well,
because my parents, even though my parents had a terribly messy life and everything else, the one thing that they were able to do was be able to socialize with different people all the freaking time. I remember house parties from the 70s where my dad would throw a house party and a barbecue, nothing but white people. Right. And he could manipulate a room so well. And I remember watching my dad do that and thinking, that's what I want to do.
Well, what I was trying to interject earlier is when you said you speak, you don't speak like a black person. Guess what? It's called education. Everybody can speak any way they want to, and you speak the way you want to, but the truth is not speaking like a black person versus speaking like a white person. It's speaking like an educated person. So there's a difference, you know. And
the fact that I was able to find,
it's not about color. It's
but
about education.
The beautiful thing is being able to find a black nerd culture where I would sit and listen to other black nerds talk about the fact that every time they would hang out with their friends, they would be like, "Oh, you talk like a white person," and blah 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 blah. And you cannot.
That's him.
That's me.
Know. That's what he says.
That's me. So
I know that education is
so
education.
It felt good to be able to sit around other people, other black people who felt like me,
right?
Who always got, and we always got it worse from black people, not from white people that much, but always worse from black people. Because every time I'd open my mouth, oh, you talk like a white guy, so you think you're better than me, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, this is just the way that I talk.
There's no fucking talk
There's no such thing as talking like a white guy. It's the most ridiculous thing.
I'm sick of hearing it, frankly.
So sitting around with other black nerds, talking about that, and we have a shared experience when it comes to that, it actually felt good. And I'm like, wow, until I brought up the word, until I said I was gay, and then they just all ran off. They literally just all ran off.
You know what?
But that's a different subject.
They'd be lucky if they were gay. They'd be lucky to have a man like you, an educated man, and they're educated too. But seriously, it's about education. It has nothing to do with color. The color of your skin hasn't anything to do with the way you speak. And I get tired of hearing that shit. That's ridiculous. Yeah. You know, in other countries, in European countries, everybody speaks, so to speak. Everybody speaks the same way. There's no, it's almost like an affectation.
Well, yeah, like
it's an affectation. You want, I don't know what the purpose is, honestly, but I'll never say another thing on the subject again other than this. It's called education. If you're educated, you speak like an educated person. If you're not, you don't. And you can do better when you know better.
Yeah, exactly. So let's get further into Black History Month.
Let's do.
Because we got some stuff to talk about because we all found 3 favorites that I want to talk about Black gay history because I think that's more important than anything else.
History is very important, but we are a gay show.
We are a gay show.
And so, guess what? We're going to talk about some gay
I want to talk about Mr. Glenn Burke, born in 1952, died in 1995, played for the Dodgers in the 1970s, was an open gay black man on the team, went to his teammates, went to his coach, said, I am openly gay. Are you going to have a problem with that? Well, we might have I'm going to play baseball, so I don't really care. And this was his attitude. I read everything about him on Wikipedia, so I'm just like acting out how I would act out if I was him in the 1970s, because he was first of all, he was cute. He was cute. So you know that he just went up there and said, look, I have a ball, I have a bat, I know how to play baseball. By the way, I like balls and bats. And I'm okay with that, and if you have a problem with that, that's on you. But I'm getting out here and playing baseball. And Mr. Burke, by the way, for all you heterosexuals, I am thrilled to talk about this story because this is the most amazing thing I ever heard. This motherfucker invented the high five.
What?
A gay black baseball player invented the high five, and it is recorded on ESPN and everything else.
Wait, what?
It is historical.
It is a historical reference. This gay black man invented the high five. What happened was, here's what happened was. His teammate, Mr. Dusty Baker, had hit his 30th home run. And he ran out onto the field to celebrate with Dusty. And he's running and he's running and he's got his hand up in the air. Now, Dusty is a little confused by this. So he goes, okay, well, I guess he has his hand up in the air. I'm going to slap it. So he slaps it. The high five is born.
Oh, shit.
It is born.
Wait, who called it the high five?
Actually, Glenn called it the high five. So what Glenn did was, once that happened, he went, okay, this is how I'm going to identify with gay men in the Castro. I'm going to teach gay men in the Castro district of San Francisco how to identify with each other. So he called it the high five. So every time, if you wanted to be seen, or if you wanted to like hook up or what have you, you threw a high five. To let each other know that you know what's going on.
High five.
So all you heterosexuals, wait, I don't get a high five?
High five, I guess.
Oh, whatever, bitch. Okay.
Okay.
But the thing is that what makes this so incredible is that it was the 1970s. None of these bitches, if you are in professional sports right now, you are a bunch of fucking pussies. This motherfucker came out in the 70s when it was hard to be a gay man in the 70s.
Yeah, I have to say,
and none of you pussies can come out and be gay now. Fuck you, bitch.
There are a lot of gay men in the sports industry, football, baseball, basketball, that are fucking, I don't like that word, so I'll say vaginas.
We had one person come out.
Which is nothing wrong with a vagina.
We had one person come out in football, Sam, Sam somebody, I can't remember his name. Graduated from college. Sam.
Yes, it's hard. Yes. Guess what?
And his career...
He got an injury or of some kind and never went back.
But he did this in the 70s. So all you punk-ass bitches who can't come out in any of the professional sports...
Especially football.
Especially football. Especially baseball. You played baseball.
Fuck that shit. All of them. And basketball is the worst.
Oh, we already talked about a certain basketball player who has some gay issues that you need to talk about because your gay lover came on the internet and talked about. We all know who it is, Mr. We can't really say that on the air.
I can't hear you.
It's Mr. Eduardo.
I still can't.
Can't say it on the air.
And this bitch is full on femme fatale.
Yes.
You know what? I love her for that because this allegedly fucked this queen, and she was full on queen. And listen,
and she got tired of him. She got tired of all the games and him.
Look her up on the internet, and she works that wig.
She works that weave, girl.
Works that wig. That's a wig. That's a lace front. Full up lace front down to an ass wig. And she is working
it, bitch. She is working it. Well, we can't talk about him because
we don't know that's true.
Because one, we don't know that's true, and two,
it's all alleged.
Ain't nobody Glenn Burke. I want some more Glenn Burks. This was, like I said, this was a queen who had no problem with coming out in the 70s. Here's another funny story. His manager, the assistant manager for the team, said, "Hey, look, why don't you get married, and I'll pay for the honeymoon and all this other stuff." And he said, and I quote, "Are you talking about married a woman? No, I'm not doing, no, a woman? No, hell no, I'm just going to be me."
I like women, but I'm not sleeping with one of them.
No,
it's not even about sleeping with one. I'm not
married. No.
That kind of association.
He was out and proud. And by the way, I am going to find his autobiography. He has an autobiography, by the way. We're going to look for his book.
We should
We're going to look for his book because I want to read more. Lynn Burke.
He's passed away, and God rest his soul. He was a pioneer. A
pioneer. To all you queens in sports, this was a queen who came out when it was so oppressive, it's ridiculous. And you bitches can't even come out when it's not even that hard to do now.
We can't call them pussies because that's not cool. We can call them fucking wimps.
Oh, we can call them wimps.
You can call them whatever you want.
You know, that sort of thing. You know, we have to be
considerate
in this world. And
don't get me wrong. You're right about
there's
that.
There's nothing wrong with having a pussy.
Let me tell you something. You are correct. Because at least Martina Navratilova, who has a pussy, was able to come out as gay long time ago. Long time ago. So a pussy is actually the strongest thing you could be. That's the strongest thing, because if a pussy can come out in the 1970s and 80s and say, bitch, I'm a lesbian and I'm okay with that, then you should be able to do the same thing.
Shout out to the lesbians, because guess what? You got them, use them, you did good.
So I'm gonna refer. That was my Black History moment.
Right.
So I'm gonna let the other queens talk about theirs.
Chris, can you have it?
Well, there's this guy called Bayard Rustin. He was born in 1912. He was pretty. He was a master strategist in the civil rights movement. There's Bayard Rustin. Yes. Well, the Washington March in 1963 was before the Civil Rights Act.
That was with
in 1964. That was with Martin Luther King. 200,000 to 300,000 African Americans on the lawn before the Washington monuments. Bayard Rustin organized the whole damn thing.
See, that's crazy because...
And he was on the cover of Time after that.
Bayard?
Yes!
No.
And guess what?
Bayard Rustin was on the cover of Time.
Yes. And he's gay. Before all this, he actually was arrested for public gay sex.
Girl, there's no other sex to have.
Good for him. You got my, yeah.
Yeah. But listen, in the 50s, he was arrested for public sex.
Yes, he was an openly gay man.
That's troublesome.
Yeah, that was troublesome.
Ooh.
So
go under the jail for that.
Without him, we might not be where we are in terms of civil rights. He was that instrumental in...
Yeah, think about it. Yeah. And Martin Luther King was right there.
Yes.
And think about that, though, honestly. If Martin Luther King had not been killed, the difference he would have made in this country. The difference he would have made in this country if he had lived, if somebody hadn't snuffed his life out. I mean, think about his people, the people that work for him.
But his words are almost more, I mean, I don't wish death on anybody. His words are almost more powerful that he became a martyr, in a way.
Well, he is a martyr, and his words are more powerful now, in my mind, because he accepted all people.
He did, yes.
All people.
And he doesn't have anything afterwards to sort of tarnish his idealistic period.
No, exactly.
Right.
So, girl, he's called Martin Luther King for a purpose.
There you go. So what you got?
That's his name, but it's also something that should be honored.
Yes.
So what you got, Miss Randy?
Well, girl, I have the Queen of Queens, honey. The first drag queen artist ever.
What?
RuPaul.
What?
Love you.
Lady Bunny, love you.
Love you, but Sylvester, honey.
Oh, yes. 1971. Yes.
1971, honey. She was the quintessential queen of disco. She was everything.
Queen of disco. Wow.
You make me feel mighty real, girl.
You make me feel mighty real.
Mighty real.
Anyway, she had worked at Mickey D's at one point.
I love Mickey D's.
She worked for a funeral home.
That's where her makeup skills came
She
from.
was doing that. Listen, she worked for. Well,
she might have been the first product of the lace front weave.
Oh, I wouldn't say that.
She might have been.
Have you seen that old video?
I've seen that old video. And trust me,
that was some,
I heard stories that she had a hand in the idea of the lace front wig. Yes, I heard stories about that because
heard that story.
Because wigs back then were just terrible. They were just terrible. They didn't look natural. They just threw.
Bless her heart. She was working it anyway. And let me tell you something, girl. She wasn't playing. She worked at McDee's. She worked.
I love
a funeral home.
I love funeral homes.
Yeah, we go from different places, place to place. Honey. Sylvester was the Keep It Real queen of the 70s, and then she had passed.
So, you were singing me that song that you sang. How does it go?
Yeah. All right. I don't do acapella very well.
Okay, just do acapella, girl.
Just give me a hint.
You make me feel mighty. Anyway, Sylvester.
Yes, queen. Yes, queen. Yes.
Her group, when she started with Sylvester and the Cockettes. Now, you gotta love that name.
Oh, I love that name.
Sylvester and the Cockettes.
I need some Cockette.
The Cockettes. I know that's right.
I know. Everybody at this table, though.
She graduated in 1969.
She graduated? What?
She graduated
From
in
what?
1969 at the age of 21, and she was a graduate of photography school, girl.
Oh, she had potential. This bitch had potential.
She had potential. She could have done anything.
She could have done anything. Good Lord.
She could have done anything.
So what happened to her?
She had passed.
Huh?
She passed.
What happened in between, though, after her huge success with her first song?
Oh, after that, she went on to Grammy Award-winning nominations from other songs, but she didn't win a Grammy, and she said she'll hate it. No, what I mean by she said she'll hate it is she had passed. How many goddamn times did I say she passed?
Can I say this? I feel like that all the queens that we mentioned.
Okay, Baker was not a queen. He was a fucking major civil rights movement activist.
Okay, but he was a queen. This bitch was an out gay man. He was a queen. This bitch was a queen. She worked it. She was an out queen when people told her not to be a queen. When all those people, by the way, I know a little bit about that simply because when he was advising Martin Luther King on how to do the March on Washington, when he was advising Martin Luther King on how to do all the marches to begin with, he was surrounded by people who said, you cannot let this faggot dictate how we do stuff.
Right.
And Martin Luther said, you know what, he actually has some good ideas, and we might want to take this up, and this and that. So Martin Luther King actually believed in who he was.
Of course.
But because as a leader who's trying to lead something, when you have all your people around you who are telling you got to get rid of this guy can't be a part of that, he will embarrass us, he'll ruin us, we are not ready for that kind of conversation, blah, 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 blah. Martin had to give into the idea of what was more important. So Bayard got thrown to the side.
Yeah.
He did get thrown to the side.
Well, listen, y'all, all right, I'm going to be honest with the audience, because, I keep it real, and so did Sylvester. Honey, I didn't do enough research because it was last minute, but I'll tell you this. Sylvester was the first and only drag queen to go on the Mickey Mouse Club in a skirt.
What?
Yes.
What? See, this is stuff that people need to know. You did not.
Yes. With the Cockettes behind her.
Good for her. Good for her. So, what have we learned when it comes to Black History Month and our queens who have made...
We do not get respected in social media of any kind.
No.
As Black history, people in Black history.
No, we don't.
There's no respect for gay men.
There's no respect for Black gay men. None. Zero zip nada.
And this man, the baseball player,
Lindbergh.
is Lindbergh. Girl, come on. At least do that.
You know, I wouldn't have known his story. I would not have known his story unless I looked him up accidentally. It was an accidental thing. I did not know that there was a black baseball player who was openly out.
Never heard of that.
Never heard of that until I actually found it on the internet. And the fact of the matter is that no one's ever talked about it. Now, there's been, and I read the article, and maybe I missed because I don't watch ESPN, and I'm sorry, I'm not a sports guy. So I don't watch ESPN that much. But they did do something on ESPN.
What's ESPN?
I don't know.
I know.
I almost said ESPN.
But they did do something on ESPN where they talked about his story. We're going to find his book. We have now decided that we want to read his book because he just sounds so fascinating. It's ridiculous. I want to find his book. I
want to find it. I mean, the man who died. Listen, we're going to start doing some hard
investigative journalism. I understand the coke and the broomstick.
Why wouldn't we?
Yeah, exactly.
The coke and the broomstick was true, girl.
I'm investigating that.
But
don't put some coke up your ass with a broomstick.
By the way,
I'm just gonna look at
it. It was just a tip, by the way.
I'm just gonna look at it.
By the way, we're gonna go a little overboard because overboard. That's so cute. Here's the thing: we're gonna cut off because I think this needs to be cut off. We're gonna cut off Black History Month because we're gonna talk about two people who one should have been in the news but wasn't, and the other who's too much in the news. So we're gonna talk about Jussie Smollet for just a little bit. And I decided, I want to tell the audience that I had this whole spiel where I was going to call him the Grinch of Black History Month.
Well, you just did.
Let's
hold it.
I decided to hold it simply because the more it changes every day. This is like an episode of Empire,
it's still an
Girl.
Ongoing thing.
It's still. This is the best live soap opera I have ever seen. I have to say it. Because I wake up every morning going, so what did Jussie say today?
It helps that he's hot as fuck.
It does help.
Jussie is hot.
He is hot.
And I gotta say, those two men were cute.
Yeah.
In a weird way.
The Nigerians?
Oh, yeah. In a weird way, I love that.
In a weird because their bodies are beyond on point.
Well, one of them was his personal trainer.
But their bodies are beyond on point. But let's take a break and talk about it?
No, let's talk about it now.
Oh, okay.
Oh, do we want to take a break and then?
You just said we were going to
take a break. Let's take a break because we're going to get into this. I did not want this. By the way, audience, I want it to be said, this is not part of the Black History part that we talked about.
Hell no.
Because this is just nonsense. And I am not going to put that nonsense in Black History Month.
And you know what? Just Jussie... Which, shame on your mother.
I wish I had Jussie's girl.
What the fuck? Jussie? Really? I wish I had Jussie's
girl.
It's not Jussie, it's Jussie.
I said Jussie's girl.
He said Jussie's.
I know, but I'm just annoyed.
So let's get into that.
Jussie's mama, you ought to be ashamed.
So let's get into that part.
Hey, don't blame her.
She doesn't know how to spell.
You can't blame a mom for her fucking son's behavior.
No, his name.
Oh.
Either she doesn't know how to spell.
That's irrelevant.
That's really old. So we're going to take a little bit of a break because we're going to get into some deep territory because this. I'm sorry to say this, guys. We're going to penetrate into some deep territory. We try to do this all in an hour, and guess what? We can't do it. So we need to extend it a little bit longer. So we'll be right back, and everybody just hold on.
Hold on for one.
Jussie.
Okay, so I want to say this. We have now ended the portion of the Black History Month part of this show because this subject we're going to bring up because
we've exited.
We I want it to be quite clear to the audience. We have exited Black History Month.
Well, let's talk
So now we're going to talk about Jussie Smollet and all the drama that is going up. This is more drama than I have ever seen on Empire. Oh my God!
On the show, girl.
But what can we say? I mean, nobody knows anything.
It'll come naturally. We're going to say what we have to say about what we.
We're already recording, by the way.
Right?
Oh, we are?
Yes, we're already recording. Mm-hmm.
Well,
It's natural, girl.
It's natural.
I'm on natural, baby.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on it.
Randy said something that was so poignant earlier that I feel like is poignant now. Who is the bigger liar in this whole scenario?
Right.
So,
What do you mean?
if it turns out that Jussie lied and set the whole thing up, then he looks bad, and he is about to make. Oh Lord! And I do not. And I want to say this.
Do it?
Why would he do that? So that's the point. Why would he do it?
Here's how I feel. Here's what I said earlier. And this is what I said. It all comes down to one thing.
Mm-hmm.
The lie. Now, as a liar, if you're a true liar, you hold your truth. Your truth is a lie.
Your truth, yes.
But you hold on to that.
You hold
lie.
on to that because you got, right.
And Jussie is holding on, and he's saying,
That's all he said.
I'm insulted. I can't believe that you would do that to me. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, the two men.
The Nigerians. And I want to say that. The Nigerians.
Okay. Anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I'm scared for you.
I don't care.
The Nigerian brothers.
The Nigerian brothers.
You know what?
That
I
sounds hot.
don't
Were they gay too?
Oh, I wish. No, they're not.
They're not gay.
Damn.
However,
Damn. I know, right?
However, nobody's talking about this. With the Nigerian guys, it's almost like, did you see the Inside Edition post?
I don't
know,
watch
the show?
Edition.
Alright. They show a picture of, not a picture, an active motion
Video.
Motion capture?
video of them in their homes just doing their thing.
Are they hot?
One of them is kissing his parakeet on the nose, on the beak, and the other one is combing his hair, and there's a dude walking behind him, half naked. They're all shirtless, and that smacks to me like an internet site, like you would do on, on the internet. You get paid. Some people get paid to just be shirtless. Men, women.
Wait, they have an internet site?
Listen.
They have an internet site to watch people eat food, and it's a sexual thing.
It looks that way. These people are just, these two guys.
I get to see food and someone can pay to watch
the ones
Yes.
who allegedly beat up Jussie are in the forefront. And then there's a guy in the background just walking back and forth. And they're all shirtless, and they're all good-looking men. Very muscular. So, I'm not saying that it has anything to do with their credibility, but it's questionable.
So, what we're saying here is, who do we believe? Do we believe the actor? Who's lying? Do we believe the actor, or do we believe the people who?
Well, who's saying what?
What they're saying is, and here's a funny thing. I had already had a whole spiel about doing the Grinch stole Black History Month and Jussie Smollet and blah 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 blah.
Right past that.
But here was the thing. The more that I read about it, the more I realized that there's more going on. There's so much drama. This is the best soap opera I have ever seen. This is the best soap opera I've ever seen because Jussie could actually be innocent, and the other two guys could just be lying to just try to...
Yes.
Because they actually assaulted him for being gay. But here's the thing, though, Joel.
But they
also knew him. They knew him. And he's actually been to their home.
And he was hanging out with them before.
They've been in his home. And so... But
why would he ask them to, like... Stage
yeah, I think that's so weird.
To what end?
Why would he ask them to do that?
What would be his motivation for saying?
Right.
Well, here's the thing. From what I read, his motivation was the fact that he had gotten these threatening letters. No one listened to him, So he decided to stage this whole thing. But why would you do that?
Actually, he could have done threatening letters because
I think those letters are horse shit.
Maybe, but actors and actresses get threatening letters all
the time.
But not like this. Not like this. There's a criminologist that I saw on the Inside Edition, and he said, this is stuff that comes out of Hollywood. You know, on Dynasty, Bitch Crystal received a threatening letter with magazine cutouts, cutout letters and stuff like that. It's very Hollywood. So it's very suspicious because the criminologist said, if somebody was going to write a threatening letter,
they would just write it,
quote unquote. They wouldn't write it; they would type it, because that way nobody knows where it came from. Nobody.
They would just have their fucking name.
And honestly, in this day and age, why would you send a letter?
It's so dramatic.
It's so dramatic.
Well, that's what I would do.
Yeah, bitch, you would not take the time to cut each and every motherfucking letter from a magazine.
Yes, I would.
But see.
And I would love every moment of it.
Yeah, but then again, you're that kind of gay.
I guess so.
And guess what? So is Jussie. In my opinion, Jussie is guilty.
You're saying I'm diabolical?
So,
yes, and so is he.
So
he thinks he's cute, and he is cute, but not that
So
cute.
from my point of view, and this is my point of view,
I think he's guilty.
I think that the brothers had a plan in mind. I think they went into the whole thing going, okay, so we're going to be extras. We're going to make sure we work our way into Empire, and we're going to find the most vulnerable person that we can find in there.
No.
Hold on, listen to what I'm saying, because I've seen this before, and this has happened before.
This is fun, yeah.
This has happened before. I'm going to find the most vulnerable person that I can find. I'm going to work with them and do everything I possibly can and try to befriend them and do all this stuff. And then we're going to set up a little situation where I'm going to, like, send him threatening letters, and then I'm going to beat him up. And then I'm going to go, hey, by the way, I'm going to tell everyone that you were the one who set this whole thing up, and you're going to need to pay me to keep this quiet.
Shit.
That's what you're going to need to do.
It's like a freaking...
And you're going to pay me to keep... I'm going to go to the police, and the police are going to let me go because I know they're going to let me go because this is the perfect way to do it. And I'm going to make a fool out of you. I'm going to make a fool out of you, and that's what I'm going to do. And that's the perfect plan.
You can't write it any better than that.
You cannot write it any better than that.
But guess what? Ain't nobody written it better than that. In my opinion, Jussie decided that I'm going to do this to further my singing career, which is in the dumpster.
Oh, he has a singing career?
Yes, Queen, he's a singer.
Why are you calling me Queen? Never mind. That's a different topic.
But if I'm trying to...
But wait, I'm not finished.
Go ahead.
He's got his thing going with... He's trying to get his singing career launched. So what if you were martyred by this experience? I mean, he literally, according to the news, kept the noose on his neck. When he got to the emergency room, he had the noose on. Why wouldn't you pull a noose off your neck?
Did he actually get bleach poured on him?
Yes, he actually got bleach poured on him.
Yeah, and guess what? They found bleach.
They found bleach in the men's home. Yep, they did.
They found. The men told them where they went. The hardware store with the Beaver on. I don't know the name. I guess it's something.
Wait, Beaver Hardware?
I guess. I don't know. You know Beaver Hardware? Anyway.
I'm just.
That's some kind of lesbian. Anyway. Hardware store. I don't know. But anyway, no, I think in my heart of hearts that Jussie decided to contrive this bullshit for,
You think he would have gotten more?
He did not get...
Doesn't he have brothers?
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, he has siblings.
So,
if I would get a sibling...
who has more to gain? So who has more to gain from this? The two brothers?
The two brothers.
Or
No,
Jussie?
the two brothers...
Have more to gain from it.
The two brothers were paid, apparently.
Were they? Or did they
Or
figure
were
out a way to...
I don't know. It's a mystery.
It is a mystery.
That's
So,
why it's a mystery.
it's the most beautiful mystery I've ever seen
It's
because
a fun mystery.
because you're looking at a power play here, and this is the most wonderful power play I've ever seen.
And as I was speaking to Joel, audience, as I was speaking to Joel earlier, and as I said to Joel earlier, okay, this is a thing between the two parties, and Jussie's not popular enough to be believed.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, he's beyond reproach. He's so famous. He's so wonderful. We all know his reputation. This is a he said situation where these men have no more credibility than he does, or he has no more credibility than they do.
Mm-hmm.
This is a situation where anybody could be lying. As long as you stick to it. And these men, by the way, these men have been exonerated. Because
No, they haven't been exonerated.
No, they have been. They turned over all this information. Listen.
And by the way,
they said they made a deal, but they made a deal because they were exonerated. No,
but at the same time,
TV saying,
but at the same time,
you know what? They said they didn't do it. The judge said they didn't do it, and we're going home.
But at the same time, here's the thing that happened this morning. At the same time, felony charges were dropped against Jussie Smollet.
Oh shit! What?
So if felony charges were dropped against him, that means that there is something going on that's so weird. It's ridiculous.
We might never know.
So the fact of the matter is, we might never know.
But Jussie, if you're listening, baby, stick to that lie, girl.
Come over here and explain it to us, baby.
And by the way, Jussie, I also want to say this if you're listening. By the way, I would understand. Trust me, I'm thinking of from the Nigerian's point of view. He is so easy to take advantage of. It's ridiculous. We could literally screw him and make him our bitch.
Maybe. I mean, it's
and
two brothers.
they did that, and they got away with it. And on top of that, they will be able to come off clean.
But why did he say it's two
They've already come off.
They've come off as clean.
Why did he say it's two white guys?
Because from supposedly from Jussie's point of view, they acted like two white guys.
I don't know what that means.
But he was with them.
Mm-hmm.
That
he was with them earlier.
And then again, Jussie might be a lie because Jussie they said, MAGA, bitch, faggot.
Here's what Jussie said.
N-word, MAGA. And
here's
like, what?
Here's what Jussie said that he didn't say. He said he did not say that. What he said was that they called him a faggot and a nigger, but they didn't call out the MAGA thing with the hat. All he saw was a red hat. That's what Jussie said.
There was no red hat, though.
But
there was
yes.
Where was who's wearing the red hat?
The police found a red hat, but it had no words on the red hat. It was just an ordinary red hat.
So you're saying?
No, that's not what I'm saying. That's what I read.
No, babe. I'm talking about your Nigerian theory.
No, I'm not. No, that's not a Nigerian theory. I want you to understand something. Sometimes you work with someone, you try to help their career and everything else. Then they come up with an elaborate scheme to try to blackmail you and make you look foolish.
No, listen.
By the way, which they did.
I agree that they could be using him. Yeah.
So talk about that.
They could be using him. And that's the truth. I mean, if you think about it, you never know.
You never know. I could be scheming on YouTube right now.
I don't know how you would scheme on that.
Coming up the ranks, baby.
Coming up the ranks. You know, that's true, though. Listen, Jussie, if you're listening, honey, if you're lying, keep lying, bitch, because you'll never be convicted. You can't be convicted. What? He can't be convicted.
I don't know.
No.
I don't know.
I'm telling you.
So, have you watched Empire?
No.
I've never actually seen an episode.
No, I'm not a local station person. I like a lot of Netflix and a lot of cable. So,
yeah, I don't know. I've never seen it.
Neither have I. But I'm not adverse. You know what I used to love when I was a kid?
What?
Fame.
Well,
Do you remember Fame? Now, see, you're young.
that was before my time, I think.
No, it wasn't.
I never watched it.
Maybe it wasn't.
I never really watched it. I know what it was, but I never really watched it. Those were
damn.
the good days.
You know
Man.
So
I wanna live forever.
That's a good
I want to learn how to fly high.
off key.
So
I feels like, girl, Miss Celia, I feels like singing tonight.
Yes, that's sick.
no. So I want to.
Yeah.
Bar.
Huh? Oh, tonight?
Okay,
For a minute.
Oh.
Anyway,
so
let's get back on the air.
Maybe.
we're on the air. By the way,
We're on
no
the
one
air.
has left
We're making
the
plans
air.
afterwards.
Elvis has left the building, but we didn't.
So, audience, you heard all their plans and everything else after this. So you heard that.
Not too many.
They were
plans.
so scandalous.
Mhm.
Very scandalous.
So I
we
want
were still
to.
talking
So I
about
want to
Jussie.
say this. I want to say this, and I want to make this quite clear. We spent so much time talking about the whole Jussie incident. You know what happened on the same day that he got attacked? A transgender queen in Houston named Miss Pinky was walking through a Chevron, was running through a Chevron gas station, got shot 5 times.
What? Wait.
5 times.
You never heard
We
about. I
spent
never
all
heard
this time
about it.
talking about Jussie, and now we're...
Yeah.
Now we're talking about.
Got shot 5 times.
I know.
Ended up in the hospital. Thank God that she is still alive.
Blessings.
But
Blessings
her
to
story got wiped away because Jussie got what happened to him. So the fact of the matter is that I am no longer going to follow any more celebrity crap.
Nope.
When it comes to that, I want to report on what's going on in our own communities.
Yes, indeed.
You know, not too long before that, there were 2 gay men in Austin who got beaten up in Austin.
It happens, yeah.
It happened.
Yeah.
And did it make national news?
Nope.
No, it did not.
No.
It did not make national news. You know what made national news? Jussie Smollet made national news. I am so tired of celebrities taking over the idea
Yes.
that if anything happens to them, they're more important than us.
Right.
Yeah.
But when things happen to us, it's not that important.
And Jussie happens to be a homosexual. And you know what, Jussie? I don't mean no harm, but yeah, I do. Shame on you. If you're lying,
You are fucking representing
Mhm.
African Americans and gays.
Mhm.
You're fucking lying
If-
about reality.
If you're lying, if it's proven that you're lying, but if it's proven that the other guys were lying, then now we have to go back and go, oh, we apologize
I'm
to you.
not apologizing
But the thing
to
is
anybody.
that I don't want to do that anymore.
No.
What I want to do is recognize the fact that there was a transgender person who got shot on the same day that he got attacked,
Yeah.
and we spent more time.
nobody
Is this
said
still in the
anything.
hospital?
Oh no, she's out of the hospital. Thank God
Oh,
she
thank
survived.
God. But
I thought she died.
We should do a shout out to Miss Pinky. So, Miss Pinky, girl,
We have this Pinky on the show.
we
we apologize because
We've been
here's what we
wasting
did.
time with Justin.
We wasted our time with a celebrity again.
Yeah.
We wasted our time with a celebrity
We
and
should
didn't
have
recognize
done
the
it.
fact that your story should have been a national story, not his.
Yeah.
I'm so tired of having to deal with celebrities in their
Because
crap.
that's true hate. That's true
Mhm.
fucking hate.
And you know,
Jussie, fuck you. You got a little roughed up, and frankly, who knows what happened.
yeah, exactly. This is an episode of Empire that we would have loved to see on Empire. But the rest of us live in the real world. And when we see our gays, lesbians,
Transgender.
bisexuals,
Why
transgender,
am I just hearing of this now?
because you know why?
It wasn't on the news.
It wasn't on the news.
And I just heard about it today from Joel.
Actually, we when it happened, I told you this. The story happened the same exact day, and I said, "Hey, this is not you." By the way,
Yeah.
I was so focused on what happened with Jussie that I left Miss Pinky behind, and I'm not going to do that
Shame.
anymore. I'm not, and that's my shame, and I'm not going to do that
We're
anymore.
not leaving.
We're not going to leave. We thought that his story would be more important. It would help. It would help.
But the truth is, at the time, the story broke. Everybody was up in arms. We were up in arms.
We were up in arms.
We were. If you roll back to another show, 4 shows ago, I think it was 4 shows ago, we were pissed. And we read everybody. And it's just bullshit.
And I literally had to say, our Valentine's episode, our Valentine's episode, I literally had to say, please, black gay men, please don't live in fear. Please don't live in fear. This happened to Jussie, but please don't live in fear. We cannot do that.
Well, that's why it was important, because we thought if it could happen to a celebrity.
Yeah, exactly. But we can't. But this is the end all be all. I'm not going to be worried about no more celebrities.
Listen,
we need to focus on.
I don't need to say it anymore. No more celebrities.
No more celebrities. We're done.
Done.
We're done because this is ridiculous.
We don't talk about you when you're bad, but we're not going to talk about you other than that.
Jussie has made everything. This whole situation,
whether
he is guilty or not, this whole thing has been tainted to the point that black gay men are still living in fear. Still living in fear, and we should not have to live in fear. We should not have to live in fear. And
no gay man should have to
live in fear. No gay men.
You guys live in fear?
I don't live in fear.
I don't live in fear.
Honestly, I'm going to be honest. There are times I do.
Do you live in fear?
I do, because every time that I try to be in a situation where I either have to where if I out myself, how's it going to end? And it does worry me a bit.
I mean, guys.
Well,
and thankfully enough, I live in Houston, Texas. This is why Houston, Texas is awesome.
It's not like
Houston, Texas is awesome. I don't have to live in that fear because I live in a neighborhood that everybody knows who I am. I walk up and down the neighborhood, people wave at me, they say hello, blah, 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 blah.
No, he owns the bar.
He ain't got no friends.
No, he owns the bar. He owns the bar.
I know, right?
Not really, but...
Chris, you're my only friends.
No, but listen, I don't live in fear because I choose not to, because...
But I'm always out and about. I'm always out and about, and I try to... For me, it's always about educating people and always about trying to show who I am. When I show people who I am, I want them to have less fear about if they meet another person like me.
Right.
And I want them to have that...
I live in the inner city.
I live in the inner city. And by the way, I've been in...
I mean, Randy, your experience is completely different.
Well,
but I've been in small towns.
I lived in...
But you guys, I've been in small towns, in little bars. I have been in those little small towns. I have been able to just be myself in those little small towns.
Oh, I don't do that.
I
don't go to bars. You know how
I know, but I've never.
I don't live in fear.
I think it depends on if you're being aggressive, if you're being an aggressor and intimidating them. I think that makes a difference.
But I'm never doing that.
Right? Yeah.
I'm always just being myself.
I've never been afraid to.
I've never been afraid to be myself, and by the way, it is because of people like Randy and David and all these other people who taught me how to not do that. They were doing that early. They were doing that when they were 15, 16, 17 years old. I wasn't able to do that. I was not able to do that. So later in life, when I'm now at places where I should feel uncomfortable, I never do because I think of them in those situations. And I have to say, I'm not
comfortable with PDA. Like, if I had a boyfriend, I'm not comfortable with PDA.
But you know what?
But
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do displays of affection anywhere anyway, because it's not my style.
I think being in Texas, I'm more concerned about. PDA, I'm like, I don't want to get killed or beat up.
I'm not worried about that.
But I'll kiss you on the lips anywhere. But I'll kiss a man on the lips anywhere. But the tongue and all that, that's bullshit anyway. Why are you taking people to those places?
Don't take too long.
Nobody should do that. You know what I mean?
Here's my thing.
I don't like straight people kissing on the mouth.
I'm also not a big fan of PDA, but I don't want to, like, if I go and have a romantic dinner with a guy that I'm with, I want to be able to hold his hand and be able to do that because I see the heterosexuals doing that.
Exactly.
If I'm in a situation where I am with a group of couples, I want to be able to say, hey, he's my man, and that's that. I don't want to be able to...
I think here in Montrose, in outer Montrose, is fine. I think...
No, it's out of Montrose too. I want to always be able to say, and by the way, I work in Bel Air, and my biggest shame sometimes, and I cannot believe this, and I'm not going to say this on the air, my biggest shame sometimes is not being able to say that I'm gay. And that is my biggest shame working in Bel Air. Because when all these people talk to me, and they're talking about their wives...
You think you're straight?
Yeah, I do.
No, not
yeah,
really.
I do.
Say straight.
No, I do, Randy. I do. I let them think that I'm straight because that's how. Straight. I don't say I'm straight, but I let them think.
Let them think you're straight.
I do, and that's my biggest shame, and that should be something that I thought that I should have gotten away from.
That's the topic for another.
That I thought.
No. I'll tell you one thing right fucking now.
Mm-hmm.
Gay men should not hate other gay men for doing their thing to make their work.
Of course not.
To do what they have to do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like...
No, I'm not reading him at all.
No, baby. Right. I'm not saying anything about what you just said. I'm just saying gay men should not out other gay men. They should not...
For doing what they need to do to survive.
Exactly. To make their living. And that's, that...
I don't want to lose.
I get so perturbed by
Can I say this?
Of course.
This show is so important to me. It's ridiculous. So I'm willing to do whatever it takes. If I have to put up with literally having to, do you know how much it hurts? Do you know how much it hurts me to not be able to have a conversation with the people in Bel Air and say, "Hey, I'm gay. This is my life." Blah blah blah. Mm-hmm. It hurts so deep that I literally come home going, "Why did I not say that?"
I guess I've just because
it hurts.
Right, I'm sure it does.
It hurts, and it is the most awful. And I never wanted to be in this situation ever again.
I guess I would because I moved from Texas to California for a long time, and then I came back, and I don't think I would. I think I would just correct that. Me personally, I would like if someone thought I was straight, I'm immediately like, no, I'm not straight.
Yeah.
And now I'm starting, and here's the thing, since the show started, now I don't have a problem with saying, no, here's the thing, I'm gay, so...
But it's a hard boundary, it's a hard line to cross.
It is a hard...
Your coworkers already see you as being straight.
Yeah. No, so my coworkers already know me as gay. My coworkers know that I'm gay. Everybody in the restaurant knows. The problem is that as a bartender, when I have to deal with regular guests who are married people, married in the sense of man and woman, kind of married.
Yeah.
And then they go, hey, so where's your wife or your girlfriend or what have you? And then I have to look at them.
Wait, that's completely different. Those are clients.
Yeah, those are clients.
That's different.
But at the same time, I don't want to do that anymore.
But you're representing your restaurant, your bar, so that's a different story.
I am representing the show. The bar is just a place to pay the fucking bills. I'm representing the show.
Your bar is paying you to work there.
By the way, most of those people know that I have a podcast, but I will not tell them what the podcast is about.
What do you think?
Most of these people don't know we have a podcast. We ain't spoken to them.
Hi. None of those, all those people.
No,
you know why?
I agree with you.
Most of those people, you know why most of those people know I have a podcast? It's because my boss knows I have a podcast, and he tells every person.
Everybody.
By the way, Joel has a podcast, and then when they're looking at me going, "So what's your podcast about?"
Listen,
it's not going to be something you're interested in, and I don't want to talk about it. And
this podcast isn't for everybody.
It's not for everyone.
But
no, I'm like nervous to share this with my friends on Facebook because it's kind of super gay.
It's super gay.
My friends are not.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't know me as being super gay.
Exactly.
Super gay. But it's not. But this is
a place for us to speak our truth.
Yeah, exactly.
And y'all are involved all around the world.
But here's the thing, and I love that.
Fabulous that
because
everybody around the world can listen to us. And girl, we're trying to get Britain
exactly.
back. Did we get Britain back?
We're trying to get what?
Britain back.
But I love the idea that we talk about this because I want our audience to hear. By the way, Randy, this is
UK, Britain.
Oh, we're trying to get them back.
By the way, Randy,
we used to have a strong following.
This is why we will get the audience that we want because we are real people.
We're real.
We talk about the fact that this is the first time I ever talked about the fact that I cannot be 100% me at work.
Yeah.
And it pisses me off. I cannot do that. With my customers, I cannot do that.
Yeah.
I want to be, and I hate the fact that the other two bartenders are married, have kids, and they can talk to the regulars at the bar. The moment I'm standing at the bar, I have no reference to talk to them. And I cannot do that because the moment that I let, hey, I'm gay, and I don't know what you're talking about, and blah, 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 blah. Then I lose.
How would the restaurant bar feel with you coming out to your customers?
I have, by the way, I've come out to several of my customers who do know.
Well, that's good.
And it's been a slow, and by the way.
Did you actually just say, I'm gay? What did you do?
Yes. I actually said, hey, I'm gay, so I don't know what I have. And by the way, I've done it more with women.
Right.
Amazingly enough, how I can do it with women. I can literally come out of the closet with women. But when I have male customers who are talking to me about this and that and blah, 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 and I'm like, how do I tell my male customer that...
You need to deal with.
They're the ones whose minds I have to change.
Like we can be gay and we're not encroaching on your whatever space you have.
Yeah, exactly. So my female customers, I can easily come out to. My male customers who are like, Joel, I love you.
Well, what I was going to say is, I hate it when men say, well, there's nothing wrong with you being gay as long as you don't fuck with me. It's like, okay, dude, who wants to fuck with you? Your wife, maybe, but that's probably because she has money.
By the way, your wife is way hotter than...
I've never had anyone say that.
Your wife is... We work in a...
You've never had somebody say to you...
I'm a pretty unobtrusive guy. Like I'm super respectful. So I've never had someone be scared of me. Like
no one's ever said to you, "Hey, well, I'm doing redneck because that's where I grew up." Hey, I'm doing redneck.
Right.
Hey, I don't mind every day. As long as you don't fuck with me. And my response has always been, who would fuck with you? I mean, seriously, a woman wouldn't fuck with you, much less you couldn't meet the criteria of a man fucking with you because you're so fucking ugly, so.
You know what I had to deal with? And it got the best tip that I ever had. I had 3 guys who were part of the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. They were coming in. 3 guys sitting at the bar. And they were making all these jokes about being gay, about being a woman, blah, 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 blah. And they were like, Joe, we love you. You're so great, and blah, 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 blah. We want you to come hang out with us and everything else. And I'm like, how do I tell these guys? I'm sorry, I'm kind of gay. And I'm glad that you guys like me as your bartender, but they're like, oh, bring your wife and hang out with your kids and blah. Once again, because I'm black and a man, I'm already with a woman and I have kids. So that's what it was. So
you have an opportunity there. They don't know, that's just their automatic response. They don't really know any better.
So the idea of them...
It's not that they're being intentional.
No, they weren't being intentional.
They were being...
who they were, and I was like, wait a minute, how do I literally look these guys in the face and go,
it's very hard, yeah.
kind of gay, so I'm not going to do that. But if you want me to come to your barbecue cook-off and everything else, I would love to do that. But I'm gay, and I'm not going to come with my wife or whatever. I don't even have a dude to come with, so...
Well, some things, I mean, some things you just have to let slide.
I know. But at the same time, it's like, I get really frustrated because I look at all these people, they're talking about their families and their lives and everything else, and when they try to talk to me, and I cannot do that, it really pisses me off.
What do you mean you cannot do that?
No, because I can't.
You can't relate.
I can't relate. I am a single.
Wives,
I am a single man. I actually told this to a woman. She goes, "Hey, so are you married? Nope. Got kids? Nope. Have a girlfriend? Nope. So what's going? Okay, 1, I'm gay. 2, I don't have kids, and 3, don't want to do any of that." And then she went, "Oh, okay. Well, I guess I won't be coming in here anymore."
Wait, she said that?
Yeah, she said that. She said that. She goes,
Wait, what
"Oh,
does that mean?
I won't be coming in."
She won't be coming in the restaurant anymore.
No, I know what that means.
I know you know what that means. I don't know why. I have to reiterate.
It's the first time that I had to hear.
I don't know what you mean after that.
It's the first time that I had to hear that you were my favorite customer for a long time, and because I told you all this, now you
So
don't like
she
me.
liked you?
You don't like me anymore.
No, she went in your pants?
No, she just liked me.
She was uncomfortable.
Well, she's
She was uncomfortable.
So she's
Well, she
homophobe.
found out. Yeah, she was uncomfortable.
Do you
when she found out it
understand
was gay.
that even at this point in the game, where I should be okay with that, sometimes it's kind of hurtful. Sometimes it is.
I honestly, if you're representing a business, I don't know if you have.
But
if
sometimes
you have
it's
a
kinda-
business telling your clients that,
Yeah, but oh wait,
we're like way over.
We're like way over.
2 hours, right?
All right. So
Okay.
guess what?
Bye, girls. We love you.
Bye, girls. We love you.
Listen, the truth is,
You're not all girls. I don't know.
listen, we're glad you listened.
Thank you for listening.
We're just having so much fun with each other.
I'm already
And
playing.
Joel's walking away. Oh, he's already playing.
Where cut
Be
off?
out the good
We'll cut off. Wait, is that it?
Motherfuckers be sweet and join us next week.
Huh?
Joel and Randy's Texas Cheese.
You what?
I feel like singing.
I just need to know. I could. Yeah.
Okay. And there's food. What time is it? Let's have Joel. Let's all go. And we can,
I'm intoxicated.
Alright, well that's okay.
No, I don't know.
Oh,
if
it's
I can-
7:32. That was too early.
Is it really?
Yeah. Singing doesn't start until 9. Next time. We'll do it next time. Yeah, the food doesn't go in until 8:30. So, yeah. Next time, girl.
Well, wait. I mean,
What?
it doesn't start till later.
What?
No, we were talking about going to Outpost to sing.
Okay. Well, if you
But no. We're all gonna go.
no, I'm not going.
But no, we're not going anywhere because it doesn't start until 9
Wait,
o'clock.
did you guys just?
We didn't touch it. What?
Okay, I have to end it. So
But he hasn't ended it.
I thought it was ended.
I thought.